Like right now? Oh, no, no, wait, no. You said I could jump. No. We're going to tell a story now. Okay, now we're going to tell the story of the first harvest, okay? What are you doing? What do you mean, what am I doing? What's that on your eyes? I have to wear my glasses. What, are you blind? No, I'm not blind, but it just makes it easier to read the words because they're small print. What's small print? I just see. Oh yeah, I see. I can't read that either. Okay, now, this is the way the story begins. This is the way the story begins. You want to read the first line? Sure. Story. Grandfather, you promised to tell us a story of the first harvest. Will you tell us now? Yes. Asked the little girl. I'm not a little girl. I know you're not a little girl. It's just a story. Okay, it's just like it's just a little girl. I know you're not a little girl. Okay. All right. The grandfather, with his feet propped up before the fire, opened one eye. What are you doing? I'm opening one eye. You got one eye shut. I know I got one eye shut. I'm opening one eye according to the story. Okay. And looked down for a long moment at all the children. Yep, he's looking at all of you with one eye. Okay. Then he smiled and opened his other eye. You got both eyes open? I got both eyes open. Okay. And looked around, and the other children gathered around him, all sitting in a circle. Well, it's part of a circle. Half circle. Yeah, they're sitting in a half circle. Of course, I will tell you the story. But I must warn you, this story is not completely happy, and one like the other stories I told you. Are you sure you want me to start? Are you sure it's not a happy story completely? Do you want to hear it still?
Yes.
Yeah, they want to hear it. Okay, all right. Now you remember in the last story I told you. What? Just go along with me, all right? Okay. That the gods had went on a holiday after they were married, the god and the goddess. They went on a holiday? Yeah, well, it's actually called a honeymoon. A honeymoon. Yeah, I think that's what they call it. Are you sure? No, I'm not sure, but I think that's what the story says. Okay. Joined together in love, they felt as nothing could happen to them. Well, at least the god did for the goddess, mother of us all, knowing something that no one else knew. What did she know? Well, I think she's going to tell you in the story. She knew something that nobody else knew. Y'all want to know what it was? Yeah? Okay, tell them what it was. So in sadness, she came to her husband and told him her secret. She had a secret. Yeah, she had a secret. Okay. My love, I carry within me a child. Yeah, she's with baby. Okay. The child will be your doom, for he comes to rule over the autumn and the winter that is coming upon us. His doom? Well, yeah, kind of, in that sense. His doom. Yeah, his doom. There is nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. He can take the baby. No, he's not going to take the baby. I just felt I must warn you. As the grain rises, so do you rise. The God's rising. Yeah. And when the crops grow, that's the Lord of the harvest. He's the Lord of the harvest. And as the grains grow, so does he. Oh, okay. And as the grain is cut and falls, so you will fall and go to Summerland. What is the Summerland? The Summerland is that place where, after we all cross over, okay, and we go up there and we rejuvenate, and then we get reborn again. Really? Yeah. Y'all believe that?
Yes.
Kinda? Yeah. I believe it. Okay, all right. So the God smiled and told his love that they must enjoy the bounty while they could, and had come to them so far. They should eat everything they had. Yeah, eat everything they had. They will gather together and feast and play and games of skill. Oh, I like games of skill. You all like games of skill? Do you like the joust? We're gonna do that later. You know what a joust is? Oh, you'll find out. So they gathered the people for days, walked in each direction, and called fairies from their hidden homes. They had fairies? Yeah, they had fairies. Oh, they like fairies. I know you like fairies. And the games were played in honor of Taltay, the aspect of the goddess who governed fertility. Well, that is what they were celebrating with the games. Celebrating fertility? Yeah. So the crops are growing and the first are full. Yeah, I got you. Celebrating fertility. You know what fertility is? When the crops grow and we get to eat. Good. They played and challenged each other to increasingly more difficult tests of skill for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, they played games for 2 weeks. Didn't they get tired? Well, they probably did get tired. Did they get to rest? I don't know if they got to rest or not. It's not the story. They just played for 2 weeks. While the cursed meteor showers played, they had a meteor shower. You know, I don't know if I'm saying the word correctly. Let me look at it. That is perceived. That's what I said, perceived. Yep, perceived. Meteor shower. That's stars falling from the sky. They're going to fall from the sky? No, actually shoot across. They're not really going to fall down. Okay, I was worried about that. How about that? While the meteor showers played on the sky above them, but when the 1st of August came, that's tomorrow. Yeah, I know. 1st of August tomorrow. Upon them, the goddess entered into birth. She's going to have a baby. Yeah, she's going to have a baby right now. On the 1st day of August, she had a baby. Well, that's what we're told. The birth was difficult. Well, of course it was. She's giving birth. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you see, the Holly King, yeah, was coming and was nearly completely formed and grown. The Holly King. Yeah, the Holly King. He rules over the dark half of the year. The dark half of the year. Yeah, and that starts at summer solstice. Really? Yeah, summer solstice. But finally, as the dust fell, the Holly King forth, armored and ready to rule his half of the year. For he had been told that after his birth at Yule, he was born at Yule, yeah, he was born at Yule, by the goddess herself, unwilling to fight the Oak King, smiled and bowed his head in defeat and laid down his sword and walked away into the dark. He just freaking gave up. Yeah, he just freaking gave up. You know, he didn't want to fight. Boy, I guess it was just the time of the season. That's the way it goes. The Oak King and the Holly King changed powers at that. Okie dokie, dude. Doesn't make any sense to me, but okay, all right. Then the Holly King turned to his mother and wept, for he saw that he had aged her. She got old. Yeah, she got old. Well, her hair was now streaked with white, like yours, and yours, okay. And her beauty was now regal and more mature. Mature? Yeah. That means that she's older now, and her beauty, she don't look as good as she used to. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she got a few wrinkles. Yeah, she got a few wrinkles in her. He called for attendants to take care of her and find a place for her to rest. And he went to what is now his throne and sat with his drinking horn, and though about how to make amends. Yeah, amends. I gotta turn the page. Turn the page. Can't do it when educated. No, not really. Not yet. Rolling. I'm rolling. Okay. And how much he had hurt her already brought to the earth. So he was apologetic. Yes, he was apologetic. Now you can read this part. Okay. Now y'all pay close attention. I'm going to read, all right? Okay. Here we go. So you see, children, this is why we have the Italian games at this sabbat. Of course, we only have one day, so who can last as long as the gods and the fairies? Who can do it for 2 dang weeks? Could you play games for 2 weeks? Could you play games for 2 weeks? Depends on the kind of games it is, right? I'm talking to you, Azura, and Ariana.
Hey, Wiggly.
And you.
Hey, Wiggly.
Yeah, I'm talking to all of them. How long can you play games?
Hey, Sir Wiggly, you have a wiggly hat.
That's why I'm called Wiggly.
Hey, Wiggly.
What?
I love your voice.
You love my voice? Well, talk to him because of him.
Wiggly,
All right, hang on. All right, we're gonna do your story. Feel your story. Now, hey, you are a little one. Don't cry. Somebody's crying. Yeah, I think one of the kids is crying. Any of y'all crying? Hey, you don't cry. Don't cry. And you might ask why. Don't cry. Say why. Say why.
Why?
Well, you don't remember the story of Yule when the Oak King came back to take his turn and banish the Holly King back into the Summerland. Do you remember when we did summer solstice and the Oak King and Holly King battled one another and he used a slingshot? You wasn't here?
No.
You remember that? That was just a couple of months ago. The Holly King vanquished the Oak King with a slingshot. With a slingshot? Yeah, that was a slingshot. That's not very ancient. Well, it is if you go back to, David and Goliath. David and Goliath? Yeah, okay. We just utilize it, all right? So now that it's better, no tears, because the God's sacrifice, we have grain to eat, and now the bounty of the earth. Bounty of the earth. A lot to eat. Yeah, a lot to eat. Now go play, dear children, and let me rest from all this storytelling. You heard? Yeah, I'm tired. That's because you're old. Yeah, I know I'm old, okay? And the children ran off to think, and some to give thanks for what they have received. What they did receive? A lot of bounty. Oh yeah, all the food. And grandfather returned to his nap, which is what I'm about to do. You look like you need more. Yeah, I do, I understand that. And his feet propped up, and his hands folded in his lap. So, did y'all understand that entire story? Do you know why we had the first harvest now? It's because the Lord of the harvest is giving up his life under the sickle so we can have plenty to eat. So we celebrate the God's sacrifice so we can have bounty of food. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that great? Can y'all? Okay, hold your hands out like this. And hold your other hand out. It's a test. It won't come to, okay. Okay. Now put your hands together. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yay! Thank you for the applause. Thank you for the applause. That's the end of the story. And I think I'm ready for my nap too. You ready for your nap too?
No,
Did y'all like the story? I'm talking to the adults now. Hello. Hey, you like the story? Already did. Are you going to enjoy all this bountiful harvest later on today?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you made some zucchini fritters. Yeah, I did. Y'all like zucchini?
Yeah.
I like it.
I do.
Hey, wait,
They like zucchini. They're unusual children. They like zucchini. I understand that, but they're pagan kids. Oh, yeah, pagan kids.
Hey, wait.
What?
I don't want you to go.
Well, I've got to go back into my box.
Hey, wait. Before you take a nap, you should try to get your hand off of here.
You know, it's been like that ever since
Yeah, you need
I
to
met
get that
this
checked
guy.
out. You need to get that
Well,
checked out from
actually-
the doctor.
Actually, what are you doing? See, it does come loose, but it's got Velcro.
You need to get that checked out.
I keep it up on my hip.
Yeah.
I really want to be fancy. All right, that's the end of the story. Hope you all enjoyed it. Happy Lughnasadh, everyone.